Hi guys, welcome to our channel. So for today's video, I decided to make a sit down video to give you some tips and advice. This is regarding my experience in applying for a visa going here in the UK. So for today's video, it will be a visitor's visa. So I first came here in the UK under a visitor's visa. That was 2016 when I applied for my first visitor's visa. So they gave me a 6 months valid visa. I think that's the minimum that the embassy will give you, a 6 months validity of visa. Then you don't have to stay here for 6 months. You can, it's a multiple entry. You can come here for a couple of weeks and then you can come back. So it depends on your budget actually. It's not cheap going here in the UK. The airfare is not that cheap. When I first came here, I think we spent £1,000 for my return ticket. Of course, I'm from the Philippines, so the ticket will be that expensive, unlike if you are just from countries near here. So in applying for a visit visa, you should have a valid purpose going here in the UK. So if you know your purpose, sometimes it might be visiting your family, relative, for tourism, or visiting a special somewhere. Any valid purpose will do. So your documents that you will submit to the UK embassy will be depending on what purpose you have going here in the UK. In my case, on my visit visa application, my purpose was to meet my boyfriend's family, especially his parents and brothers and sisters, immediate family members. When I submitted my application, of course, that includes number one, your personal documents. That will be your passport. Your passport should be valid at least 6 months on the day that you will leave the UK. And then of course your personal identification documents, which include birth certificate or government identification cards that will show your full name, your date of birth, or sometimes will show your address. And of course, the embassy will require a police check. So you need to submit your NBI clearance or your NBI certificate. And that is the requirements in the Philippines. I think in the other countries, they just call it police certificate. But in the Philippines, we do have two certificates, the police certificate and the NBI certificate. So when you apply for your visit visa, it's just the NBI certificate that they will require. And you don't have to submit medical certificate or any medical examination. They will require you a travel insurance. Of course, when you are under a visitor's visa, you are not entitled in any government funds. So if there is something happen to you here in the UK, you will be shouldering all your expenses. That's why you need the travel insurance. And aside from those personal documents, you will also be required proof of your financial capability. Of course, you have to prove them that you are financially capable and going to the UK. So the financial documents or the amount that they will require from you is depending on how long you will stay in the UK. So the detailed information will be on the website, on the UK Embassy website, on how they compute the proof of financial documents, the proof of funds. But to prove that you have enough funds, you need to submit certain requirements. For example, if you are into business, you need to submit your business certificates or your business permits. If you are employed, of course, you have to submit your employment certificate, pay slip, and a letter from your employer that they approve your leave, that you have an approved leave. And of course, Sometimes they will ask for the income tax return, but it's not necessary. I think it is only given if you are in the company for a year, so you will be entitled for the income tax return. But if you just started, you cannot have the income tax return, so it's not that necessary. The most important is the employment certificate and the pay slip. And of course, to prove that you have enough funds, you need to submit bank certificate and bank statements. What if you don't have those financial documents? The embassy will accept a sponsorship application. So when we call it sponsorship application, that means there will be someone who will supporting your travel, who will supporting you on your whole duration, on the whole duration of your stay here in the UK. It can be a family member, it can be a relative, or it can be a friend, or it can be a boyfriend, as long as they will provide documentations, like for example a letter stating that they will support you financially, or they will support your accommodation, they will accommodate you for the whole duration of your stay. I think that will be one of the main requirements. And of course, if they will support you financially, they have to submit proof of their income and proof of their financial requirements. It's either bank certificates or bank statements. And one more thing, sometimes the embassy are also looking for some information about some documents to prove that you will still come back to your home country. There are some sort of requirements that you can submit to prove that. If you have properties under your name, like land titles or vehicle, you can submit sort of documentation to prove that. So that is one of the reasons that you will be coming back to your home country, your properties. And of course, your work is also one of the reason that you will come back to your home country, especially if you have that leave of absence, so you have that employment contract. And of course, a immediate family member. So if you have immediate family member that you are supporting in the Philippines, so that can also be a reason for you to come back to your home country. Okay? And when you will make your application, all the application should be made online. So if you will look into the UK Embassy website, there is a link there that will navigate you to the application website. So there is a certain application form that you have to fill up. So most of the questions there in the application forms are about your personal details, and of course about your purpose, your reason traveling to the UK, and how will you support yourself. So some questions there might be regarding your sponsor. So be sure that you have all the documents that your sponsor will submit, because they may ask you in which address you will be staying here in the UK. So when you are done filling up the application form, I think nowadays you can also scan your requirements. So just scan all the requirements and attach it to your application. And then after that, you can pay your visa application online. When I applied for my visitor's visa, what I did is I submitted my documents to the UKVI office in Makati. I think nowadays you can just scan them and then submit your passport to the UKVI office for visa stamping and for your biometrics, of course. And then you just have to wait for 15 days for the processing time. You can ask for the courier service, so your passport will be delivered to your home address, so you no longer go to the UKBI if your application is already been done. You can also ask for the SMS service, where they will send you a message when they submitted your passport to the embassy, and when the embassy receive your application, and when your application is done, they will send you a message, and they will inform you if your passport is already in the delivery service, or you will be receiving your passport. They will send you a message. Okay, so if you receive your visa, then you're ready to go. You can just get your travel ticket and pack your things. Just be sure that you know what the weather will be like when you travel, so you will pack proper clothing when you travel here in the UK. So if you want to know more about my experiences here in the UK, especially when I did my spouse visa application, just subscribe to our channel, and I'll be making a sit-down video again discussing my experience, my whole experience in regards to my spouse visa application. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you again next time. Bye!